Hey y'all, it's your girl Reed with another quick word Thursday. I hope your day has been going great and you have a phenomenal week so far. Let's get right into it. I just want to talk about God's word when it says in Psalms 139 that I will praise you for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works that my soul knows all so well. And I just want to emphasize that you were created on purpose with purpose. In Genesis 1:27, God created man in his own image. And I want you to know that you have been created by the master himself in his image. And yes, there's many races, cultures out here, but we all were uniquely made, divinely made, knitted. It also says in the word in our mother's womb that God had a thought of us some way before we were a thought to our parents. That God had specifically designed each and every one of us with talents, abilities, unique, this different qualities He has placed in each and every one of us. And I don't want any one of us to be going out there trying to imitate somebody else. Yes, there's nothing wrong with looking at another person and be like, yes, I admire them. I inspire to do something similar, but focus on what God has created you to be. You know what I mean? As you can see, as I said earlier, we have different races and cultures, even so rich, and God has just made us all with our community that way. And I don't want anyone to be so caught up in trying to look a certain way or trying to match a certain image. I know we're in the crazy world right now where people are trying to tell us how to look, how to be, what's this trend, what's that trend. Well, we're called to stand out and be our own trendsetters. Don't let no one or anything define who you are. Yes, there's things out there as fashion and makeup and men going to the barbershop, all these things, us going to the gym to make sure we're healthy and maintain health. There's nothing wrong with those things, but don't let those things define you. Don't let those things be the thing that speaks more than your character or your personality that God has specifically placed inside each and every one of us. And I just want to talk about imagery as well, because a lot of us were so big on how we look physically. And for myself, I spoke about it before. I have been diagnosed with a rare skin condition called neurofibromatosis, and it's physical. You can see bumps on my skin, and to some, and for me at one point in my life, it was a major hindrance. And I'm not gonna lie, some days I feel like hiding. Some days I don't feel as like a goodie. You know what I'm saying? There's days that I feel like, ugh, why do I have to have this thing on my skin? Why can't I just be free and wear what I want and have smooth, beautiful skin like the rest of them? And I know there's other people out there who may not have the same skin condition that I have been diagnosed with. Maybe it's your height, where my short women at, where my short people at. 5 feet, okay, but maybe it's that, or it's with your height. Maybe someone wishes they weren't as tall. I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there. But I just want to say this to say, embrace who God has created you to be. He did not make a mistake when He created you. And I just want to emphasize that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, both men and women, and just focus on being who God has called you to be. Focus on that God took His time to create you and mold you and shape you. Even before you were a thought to your parents, God had a master plan specifically designed and created for you before the foundations of this earth. He said even the numbers of your hair in your head are numbered. That's how unique and carefully thought of you are and have been to God. So I just want to speak to that to you. Remember that God created you on purpose with purpose. Remember that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Remember that, no matter what it is, we all have something that we dislike about ourselves. But God's like, nah, I created you specifically that way for a purpose and for a reason. And a lot of times we just need to embrace it and keep it moving so that we can motivate someone else. Last one story before I close out in this. I remember when I first shared just overcoming, dealing with neurofibromatosis, something that I have had since I was 14. And I was sharing with a group of ladies, and this one girl, she came up to me after. She's like, wow, I'm so impressed. I'm so just inspired by you. And I'm like, okay. And she said, because here you are with something so physical, you see that you're walking with confidence. And I'm struggling with my arms just being a little jiggly. And I'm like, what? But this goes to show, once you embrace whatever it is, your quirk that you may think is a quirk, or something that's, I don't know, not great about yourself. I'm trying to find the words and I can't right now. Forgive me. There's somebody else who's looking at you and saying, wow, I love how this person smiles. I love how this person is just, beautiful. Like, look at them. They have freckles on their face. I love it. Or I love how this person is. I love their height. And meanwhile, you might be over 6 feet and be like, man, I hate this height. I don't know if that's accurate with tall people. Tall folks help me out. I know short people, we just sometimes. But I got over I got over it. 5 feet over here and I'm proud, yes. But I'm just babbling, as you can tell. But no, but just I want everyone to just embrace the fact that God thought of you. He had thought of you so detailed that every single thing about you, God said, this is what I want this person to look like and how this person to be. And a lot of times we are too busy, caught up in trying to compete with another person. Meanwhile, that person is trying to figure out their life themselves. You know what I mean? So let's just figure out our own and keep our focus on what we got going on. Keep our focus on who God created us to be, God called us to be, how everything that He has placed inside of us. Let's just focus on that so that we can continue on and do what God has called us to be and be all that God has called us to be. All right? Remember that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Remember that you are created in the image of God. God created man in His own image. Remember that you have been created by the Master Himself. Peace out, y'all.